Now first, please close your eyes. Imagine you're in a city you have never been to. And you have to cross a street you have never seen. And the only thing that is guiding you is this. How would you feel? Now open your eyes. This is how I met Susie. Susie was coming out from the train station in Belgium. It was her first time in Belgium, and she was really scared and didn't know how to cross the street further. So she asked me for help, and of course I did. And on the way, we had a very inspiring conversation. She told me that she loves traveling. She loves the smell of a bakery, the touch that when she can touch the statue made out of wood, when she can hear the fountains and the conversations she has with locals. Yet she said, this is not the case for everyone. So many of her visually impaired people do not travel because there's so many problems connected to that. Yet they would love to do so. Some of the problems are, first of all, the thorough planning that you need to do. The travel rules, which are different. And then, you think attractions are the same? No, they don't go to Paris to see the Eiffel Tower like we do. They also are so scared of robbery. Some people here in Stockholm, you know that they avoid walking with a stick in the metro because they think they're going to be robbed? 5.2% of the population is visually impaired. That is 400 million people worldwide. That's more than the half of the population of Europe nowadays. And this is where we come in, with Travel Sense. With Travel Sense, we want to ensure that the global network of visually impaired travelers can be connected to the local visually impaired people. So, wait, how do we do that? I have a friend called Peter. Peter lives in Belgium, and he loves traveling. He's visually impaired. And what he would do with our application is he would first make a profile, secondly, click on the city where he wants to go to. Now, what can he choose? First, the main focus would be on the local guides. He could choose from different local visually impaired guides in the city of Stockholm, who would also have a ranking, and so on. He could also go to Blindopedia to check for different tips and tricks for the city. Statues, for example, the Skansen here in Stockholm, there's some paintings and some parts of that you can touch, which normally, if you're not visually impaired, you're not allowed to touch. And then he could also book hotels or restaurants which are specifically made or adapted to visually impaired people. Okay, now what about our market? The market size, we would start with Sweden. So, if we make an assumption, first rough assumption, that the amount of people, considering the amount of people that travel now to Sweden, and if 5% of the population which we have now, if those would also come to Sweden, start traveling as much as people without a visual impairment do, it could be up to 700,000 people a year, visually impaired people that would travel to Sweden. And assuming they would book through our website, of course taking into account a percentage of them who would book, for the restaurants and for the hotels, you would get up to 10 million euros annually. Okay, next step. Revenue stream, money. Where do we get the money? Well, first we would start with the government to get a first jump. And then further we would collaborate with restaurants, hotels, and other service providers which would be adapted for visually impaired people. For example, you want to go to a restaurant. You would think visually impaired person does not have problems with that. The menu is printed out. How do you read it? It's also in Swedish. However, if already a restaurant assures that the menu is on their website in Swedish, they can use their app and they can listen to the menu already directly being translated to their language. Small thing, but makes a huge difference. And if you go to the next, competitors, we've checked the competitors, and indeed, there is, for example, a company who does large tours to Peru or to Australia, long tours, very expensive. And small guides, but not for visual impairment. And so there's nobody like us yet on the market. We've done lots of customer validation. We've talked to different people, people with problems across the world